Cool. So last stage is the head. So basically for the head, let me go to the neck here. So under the cog control, I have this neck group, and then I have a neck FK with 3 joints, and a head FK under the last neck FK joint, and I have a neck IK setup, which is similar to the spine setup. So basically here this is the FK, and then let me just hide these bones here. So this is the FK setup, and if I go to head, neck FK switch, I switch to the IK setup. I'm using exactly the same idea as the spine. So what I'm doing here first is that I want this whole group to follow the chest joint, a bit similar to what I've done with the arms. So I'm using project to new parent, getting the neck group as a child, I'm getting the chest joint as the parent. So I'm passing that to the neck group, and then I am using the same spline IKFK which I've showed in the spine example. So I'm passing here the joints of the neck and the head as the last one, and the the FK controls, and then the IK controls. Exactly the same. And this is the idea, that you would create these functions that you just reuse throughout the rig. Then going to the facial, this is a very basic setup that I've done. So I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to use curves to deform these faces. So I have all of these are joints, and what I'm doing is that I'm just moving joints around. So yeah, this is the idea. I have some blink setups and look at setups, but let's go through these controllers here first. So left eyebrows, what I'm using is that I'm using a spline from items. So I'm creating a spline, which is a curve from items. So the items are my controls. So I have all of these controls. These are so small that I've put the scale for them as very small. As you can see here, highlighted. Basically, this is one controller per joint that I had in here. So let me change these to bones. And you can see all these joints here. I've created one control for each of the joints. And so then I'm passing those controls here, and I'm creating a feet chain on a spline curve. So the items I'm passing are the joints. So it needs to be the same order here of the joints in the controls. So I'm passing the joints here. I'm getting the spline, which I just created through the controllers here. I put as stretch it because I want to be able to stretch the spline like that. Let me just change the front. So you see it's almost like if it slides, it tries to keep the shape. So I think it works better if I just keep as stretched. Then I'm setting the axis here, which again you would have to check in your rig what it works best. And I'm propagating to children. Here I was just using it's really helpful to debug things using this draw spline. So basically if I draw a spline here, you can see what I was talking about. So what I'm essentially doing is that these controllers are actually moving this spline. One thing I've done to make it easier is that these are the controllers that are actually deforming the joints. But what I've done is that I've created controllers on top of them. So I just created 3 controllers on top of these ones. And they basically move these ones together. I just felt that it was too many controllers to work if we kept it that way. And this way is a bit of an easier way to manipulate. Also, if I want to just put the whole brown up, I can just use in here. It might be worth changing the from object to word position when working with the curves. So now all the controls are not following their own rotations. It's just following the world rotation. I find it works a bit better than when you're trying to do things like this. So yeah, basically that's it. This is the eyebrows setup. It's very manual, but it works. For the eyes, I'm getting the I'm using just getting transform from items, and I'm setting transforms. It's pretty basic, so I'm getting the eye control, upper lid control, and lower lid control, and I'm setting the transforms to the eye joint, upper lid joint, and lower lid joint. It's not an FK setup because each of them should work individually. This one is actually just should just rotate. But yeah, this is an easy and clean way to just pass this information to these joints, sets the transforms, done. One cool thing I've done here is that instead of copying and pasting the same information again, I'm actually using replace items. So instead of creating another array like this, I can drag it from here and I can type replace items. And then I'm replacing R underscore to L underscore. If I click here, I can see the inspect live values. So it's showing me that the results now are left control, left eye control, left upper lid, left lower lid. And then I'm doing the same with the joints. So I'm getting the left joints and then I'm setting the transforms in here. So the last thing I'm doing for the eyes is the aim. So basically what I'm doing is that I'm aiming the right eye control or the left eye, but basically this control that moves the whole joint. I'm aiming the control to the look at control. So this is just a control I've worked and place it a bit forward. So the center of this control is actually a bit forward. I just manually moved around, and when I was happy with the position, I just right click and pressed set transform from current. So this is the the position that will stay. And because I'm using aim at, I can just the controls will actually follow the eyes. I'm doing this as I have an option to deactivate this because sometimes you don't want the eye following this. You actually want to, or the eye to stay where it is, or to just manually position where you want it to look. So I've created this I am at switch, which is a boolean. So I'm passing here to turn it on or off. I'm doing the same for the left eye. Then for mouth, mouth is exactly the same thing as the eyebrows. Um, sorry. So it's the same idea. I've created all these small controllers for the actual joints, but then I've created main groups that will move all of these together. So that makes it a bit easier to manipulate. And then on top of that, I also created a whole upper lip control, which moves all of them together and rotates anyway, and just scales. I'm using the same spline for mitons, and then fixed chain on spline curve is exactly the same idea. I've done two curves, so one from the upper and one for the lower, so upper lip and lower lip. And then I had these other joints, which, yeah, like the nose, for example. So I just literally created a control for the joint, and I'm passing the transform from the controller to the joint. Same with this chin. Oops. Um, and then teeth and tongue as well is just one control for each of the items. Then I had all these other secondary controllers, so chin, cheeks, smile, which is, it creates a little corner here. I just got the controllers and again passing to the correspondent joint. And I actually created a jaw control, which is not basically, it's not moving any joints directly, but is moving all these controllers from the lower lips, the teeth lower, the chin lower, and the tongue. So similar to the look at, so I just created a control in here, new control. I've placed it where I think is where the joint the jaw should rotate from. Uh, so this was my decision. It's not based on any bone. And then because it's parented to these ones, basically when I rotate, then all of them rotate as well, and then I have a jaw movement. And then if I want, I can just change the teeth, change the tongue, and play around. So yeah, this is definitely can be improved, but I think it works for now, and yeah, you can get really nice poses just using simple joints and simple setups. The last thing I've done is that I've created the height controls for the facial controls, so I can tick if I want to see the facial controls, and I also have one for secondary controls, because I thought sometimes maybe you want to see the main ones, which are, you know, the main eyes and jaws, uh, but you don't want to see all the cheeks and the little lips and chins and everything. So it's nice to have the option to turn this on and off. Again, this just is using height controls I'm passing a chain of controls. So in this case, instead of selecting each of the controls, I'm searching for the name facial and I'm getting the children. So if I type here get children, I get this node, and then I'm passing a name of this, I'm passing this group facial, and then I check recursive, which means that we'll go through all the children, and then I'm getting a type of search. You can filter here for being just control, but yeah, I wanted just everything that is under facial. I put into the controls, and I put facial control visibility, and I turn them on and off. And I've done the same for the secondary, but in this case, I manually pick each of the controllers that I wanted as secondaries, and I check it in here as well. So yeah, this is the final part of the rig. I'll go through the helmet and the wing on the next video, and that should be it.